Well, good afternoon there, dear. Now, please come in. Have a seat. I'm sorry there's not much room here on the ship. Actually, that brings me to my next point. I know we're supposed to have a cooking class today, but, well, they're refurbishing the kitchen right now. Oh, yeah, we're doing it all up. Smee keeps complaining about limited counter space and cabinets, things like that, so I know. But what I thought we'd do instead is a sort of personal cooking class where I show you some of my favorite recipes here from my little magazine. It's actually my magazine. I wrote it. Yeah, I put out one every year. And, Neverland just loves it. I include some of my favorite desserts and main courses in it. It's the talk of the town. And then what I'll do is you can pick a recipe out from the magazine and I'll send you home with the ingredients for it. How does that sound? Oh, terrific. Okay, well, I don't have all the ingredients here, but I'll definitely send you home with the things that are harder to get. For instance, there's Tahitian vanilla. That's a little tricky to get your hands on. Okay. Alright, so this is my magazine. Isn't it lovely? I actually have a graphic designer who helps me with all this stuff. I mean, I just give him the recipes and take some photos, and he puts it all together. Yeah, I couldn't do anything like this myself. Okay. Well, how about we start with some appetizers, and then we'll work our way all the way to desserts. That sound good? Great. And if there's any background noise, I do apologize, dear, but we have the construction workers here and everything, and it's just, I told them to be quiet, but every now and again I'll hear them, rustling about there in the kitchen. Let's see. Well, here we have my delicious tuna canapes, and then my little shrimp cocktail balls. Chips and dip, that's always a fun one. I don't do it the traditional way though, like salsa or anything. Salsa, however you say it. I do some guacamole, and I make it all myself. I smush the avocados in my mortar and pestle, and I add in some spicy chilies. That's the way to go, isn't it? And then I actually make my own tortilla chips with little ground black peppercorn, and of course some sea salt. It's readily available here. Well, there's a few appetizers I have here. I usually skip the appetizer portion of the meal. I mean, I'll offer sometimes pigs in a blanket, things like that. But I usually go right for the starter. So, for instance, soup, salad, things like that. Oh, I love a good chowder, definitely. Yeah. Well, I make mine with a little bit of potato in it and some little bit of onion. Yeah, I know there's tons of different ways of making chowder, but that's my way. That's the way Mr. Hook likes it, or Captain, I guess everyone calls him. I know. Well, sometimes I call him Hooky. Sometimes I just call him James. It all depends on the mood I'm in. When I'm really angry, I'll call him by his full name, middle name included. Okay. Which, it's Florence, by the way. Everyone thinks it's something else, but depending on who you ask, but it's Florence. Let's go to the main course, because, well, the dessert's my favorite, but the main course is my second favorite. Okay, here we have some, sometimes I'll make a chowder for the main course, I must admit, because it's just so darn filling. But most of the time I go for, I like a nice breaded cod, some calamari. I know how to make a mean octopus too, I'll tell you. It's all about making it tender by simmering it beforehand, and you have to bake it a little bit drizzle it with some olive oil, things like that. But sometimes also I like to make a nice big dinner salad, and I put some of those little salad shrimp in it, little mini ones, you know. They're just so darn cute, aren't they? Them and those little mini corn cobs. I'm telling you, they're just so cute you can hardly eat them. You just want to squeeze them. So, but that's not in here. That was, actually I included that 2 years ago in that magazine edition. Let's see here. Well, there's a good sirloin steak recipe. I also have, believe it or not, some vegan and vegetarian recipes in here because, well, we had a crewmate once, and he didn't like meat or dairy products or anything like that, so I came up with a bunch of different vegan pastas and things. He loved them. Oh, I know, I didn't know I had it in me, you know, because sometimes those meals are a bit tricky because you can't include, you know, eggs and milk and things like that, but I worked around it. Okay, well, let's just get right to the dessert, right? I mean, we all know that's what we're here for on Earth, I mean. It's all about the dessert. I have quite a few in this edition. It was so popular the last year that I actually doubled the desserts in this. Yeah. I've been doing this for how many years now? I think about 10 years, actually. This is my 11th year. Wow. Yeah. Okay, I have a variety of different pies in here. I have apple pie, boysenberry pie, blueberry pie, and I always include the secret ingredient for me is a dash of that Tahitian vanilla I told you about, and a little bit of nutmeg and a whole lot of cinnamon. I can't get enough of cinnamon, I'll tell you. And then sometimes I'll put some fish oil in there, and I know that people don't agree with that. You can't taste it though, and it has a lot of health benefits, you know. Some of them are antioxidants, things like that. So I always try to put a dash of that in everything. And James loves it. I mean, he's a man of the sea. So let's see here. What other desserts we have? I make a mean brownie also. Yeah, I put chocolate chunks in it. And sometimes swirls of caramel even. And they're just to die for, I gotta tell you. Yeah, the boys love them. They gobble them all up. And every year I bring them to the Neverland bake sale that benefits the lagoon cleanup. Oh yeah, that's a big thing here. Are you going to the lagoon while you're... Oh, good. Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. Now, I will warn you, some of the mermaids are a bit feisty. Well, and the mermen have a wandering eye, so just be careful. I mean, you never know. Some of them are pickpockets over there. I don't know how they do it, because a lot of times they don't even get out of the water, but you walk away from there and, you know, sometimes your ring is missing, or, you know, your wallet's not in your pocket anymore, your purse is completely gone. It's just crazy. Yeah. So let's see here. What other dessert should I show you? Oh, this is my caramel apple pie. That's fantastic. I make a whole lot of cookies too. I like chocolate chip cookies and well, I have an apple strudel cookie that, oh, it's scrumdiddlyumptious. Yeah. What else here? Well, would you like to learn how to make the apple strudel cookie? Oh, it sounds, yeah, it's good by me. Yeah, I love it. I actually just started making it a couple years ago. James' second cousin, twice removed, I think it is, came over one time, and she's a baker to contend with, I'll tell you. And she showed me the recipe. Now, I added my own modifications. I put actually a dash of applesauce in it. You'll see here in the recipe. I'll give you this magazine free of charge, of course. And she didn't put any applesauce in it, and I'm telling you, that's the secret ingredient right there when it comes to baked goods. You gotta put a little bit of applesauce because it keeps things moist. Yeah, that or peanut butter, but the peanut butter doesn't make it as moist. I mean, it just gives a little bit of gooiness. Well, let me see here what I have in this. I'm going to give you this little satchel. Now, most of the ingredients in there are readily available. Apples, things like that. In fact, I'll give you a voucher to get the produce at the farmer's market here in Neverland. Have you been there yet? It's right by the Darling B&B, so you'll definitely want to check that out. Yeah, and they also have items there that are made with pixie dust, bath products and things like that. Okay, so there we go. Well, I just put a little bit of vanilla in there that I told you about, and I gave you enough for a couple dozen of these cookies. So, no problem at all. Stir that up for you. And I also put a little bit of the applesauce. It's homemade applesauce, just a little packet of it in there. And everything else pretty much you can get at the farmer's market. It's very easy. In the voucher, I'll get you everything for free, so you don't have to worry about that in case you don't have any spending money on you. And there's that. And there's the, let's close up the magazine so you can take that with you. There's the magazine. Well, yeah, I did meet you before, didn't I? I was going to say it was a pleasure to meet you, but I know that I met you. Was it the Wicked Wisdom Convention? That's right. And I think I gave you a little bit of relationship advice. Well, how did everything pan out? Oh, I see. I'm not the best person to talk to about all that. I mean, James and I have been married for so long. It's just, goodness, heavens to Betsy. But, well, living with a man like that, you learn a few things. So I'm glad I was able to help in some small way. Oh yeah, I'll be there again next year. I love it. Well, I didn't get along too well with Ursula. She was a little too slimy for my taste, but a lot of the other gals were just fantastic. All right then, I'll give you all this stuff to take home with you, and there's your ingredients there and the magazine. And in fact, if you want me to, I'll get your details from the B&B, and I'll send you a magazine every year. How about that? Oh, good. Just a little token of my gratitude. Great. Well, I will hopefully see you around. I go to the farmer's market every week too, so if you're there, you'll definitely see me there. Okay. Well, you take care now, alright? And I hope those cookies turn out great for you. I'm sure they will.